and welcome back to another breaking news. Actually, no, this is the first breaking news video. This will be the first breaking news. What the hell? Okay.
Well, this breaking news has broke off from a what the hell.
Yeah. So we had we used to have two-part what the hell, and people are probably wondering, hey, so we saw what the hell part one, or did you? We didn't name it part one. We just called it what the hell happened. And now we are doing something different. It's like a breaking news. It's like we're trying to get you guys in the know, and hopefully you guys can take some kind of value, some kind of information. But before we begin the video, make sure you guys check out Buzz TV, man. Buzz TV's got some really, really good stuff. In the description below, we'll have links for Buzz TV products. There's actually, I will say this with Buzz TV, there is an interview coming shortly after this episode. So make sure you guys are checking them out.
Oh man, that interview is so good. There's actually some leaked information that you're going to want to know. And if you want to know, you got to listen.
You got to listen. So Buzz TV, check it out, description below. If you're on the audio or video, make sure you do check out Buzz TV. They got good stuff. And then the other thing I want to mention too is make sure you guys get yourself protected, please. We talk about VPNs on our channels. We talk about making sure you guys have something to protect yourself, because you absolutely have no idea what is going to happen at any given time. Now, with that being said, we're going to kick this off with some articles here that we've been picking up on, and hopefully you guys will be able to learn some stuff here today. The first one that just recently happened, literally, this is something that just recently happened. xtremecodes break silence 14 months after that huge shutdown. If you guys remember, was it late last year, a year ago? Oh man, everybody shut down. Nothing worked. It was just insane. So here in 2019, popular IPTV management platform xtremecodes was dismantled as part of reported raids against pirate IPTV providers. After massive anti-piracy action was reported across Europe again last week. Now, you know, this article came out on November 17th, by the way. xtremecodes has broken its silence. It's condemning. It's broken its silence, condemning its characterization as a pirate service and claiming that it always collaborated with law enforcement agencies to stop piracy. Doesn't that feel like a punch on the gut right now?
I don't even know what to say to that.
I don't know what to say either. Wait, what?
The only thing I can say is you never really know, so you got to use a VPN, because, you know, when you're connecting to these servers, they can see your IP addresses. They can see all your information. They can see what you're watching, when you're watching, how you're watching, how many of you are watching. Yeah, so it's crazy. We talk a lot about VPNs, and we're not joking when we say you have to be protected. Like, there's so many situations that you have to just you have to be mindful. You know, you have an antivirus for your computer. You have stuff for your cell phone. A lot of us have different things that protect us. But when we're doing these kind of things online, you have to be protected. You don't know what they're doing with your data.
Yeah. So just continuing here, Operation Targeting xtremecodes. This happened in September 2019 when a big thing crashed. Like, everybody was everybody lost their damn mind. Like, literally, it was like, wait a minute. And it was just because it was one source for everything. Legit, it was one source for everything. So just coming down here a little bit more, 700 law enforcement officers shut down, 5,500 streaming resources. That's nuts. They called it, the code name was the Perfect Storm. I don't know, man. And then down here, xtremecodes break silence. Earlier today, the previous silence xtremecodes XTC portal suddenly produced a lengthy statement in Italy. Its purpose, according to its authors, is to dispel false claims made that the company operation after the huge events of last week. So just reading, this is now in quotes. The company has been in the software development since 2015 and until its closure operated worldwide. Proof of this is the great success of users who use the XTC platform and to whom our heartfelt thanks goes, who have recognized our product as the best performing tool on the market, the field of streaming TV software. Over the years, we've received many recognitions and awards for our work from the entire IT community. I'm kind of curious who gave these guys awards for anything. Did they go to CES and they said, ta-da?
Originally, I guess, I don't know if I want to say originally, but their idea for their software wasn't necessarily for pirate IPTV. It was supposed to be for things like hotels. When you go into hotels and they have their own kind of like cable management on their TVs and stuff like that, that's what xtremecodes was originally coded for. But obviously there was another market that was in more of a demand, I would say. So, hey.
Mm-hmm. So now all of a sudden, xtremecodes, we are against piracy. So these guys shut down last year. They are no longer in the market. So we wanted to open up the show with that. Okay, next. Let's go to next. What else do we got here? 5,500 pirate IPTV servers shut down by 700 police officers around Europe. This is a massive law enforcement operation across Europe has reportedly just recently shut down 5,500 servers used to stream pirated TV broadcast live sports and movies to the public. Europe is getting hit very hard right now. It's like we know we constantly hear this stuff, but dude, you constantly hear about this. Like this is just piggybacking on what they were doing. Operation the Perfect Storm began last Friday. So with the xtremecodes being shut down a year ago, this is the continuing story of what's going on right now. Yeah, they're claiming it claims a shutdown of 5,500 servers.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And just to give you guys an idea, they talk about a lot of different companies when they hit these servers. But a lot of times when you're getting these pirate servers or pirate services, they're listed as a lot of different names. And if yours goes down, it could just be a rebranded version of one of the ones that they hit. So you never really know. There's a lot of people that tell you have multiple services because you never know what's going to happen. Yeah. So, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. And it says here that they seized like PayPal accounts, luxury cars, like tons of stuff. Like, one of the things like I know this happened with another YouTuber where they got shut down a year ago. And this guy had cars galore. And I mean, he moved his channel away from streaming and said, let's do car reviews. And they were just some of the most exotic cars, limited edition exotic cars in the world. It's almost a little too flashy. Like, I get it. You're like, hey, I got the money. Why not? But damn, dude, it's
not almost. It's too flashy for me. Yeah. I'm a simple dude, man.
No, it's like, you know what? If I could pay off my house and no longer pay for mortgage, and if I could help some of my family members out, I love my mom, I would help her out. Love my sister, I would help her out. One of my brother-in-laws, I would definitely help him out. I would help certain people to say, hey, let me, like my best friend from Atlanta, dude, I would help him out. Like, I would just be like, here, house paid, house paid, house paid, house paid. That way you could start saving for your freaking retirement, because nowadays you have to work more. Mortgages are 30 years. Think about that. 30 years. If you were to buy a house anywhere in between the ages of 20 to, let's say, 35, you'll have that thing paid off anywhere between 50 and 65. which means you could finally retire. You could finally begin to save for retirement. And you have all these different plans to save money and all that stuff. But dude, if you buy a house when you're 40 years old, that means by the time you're 70, it's paid off. And then you could start working to save money for retirement. Dude, that sucks. That absolutely sucks. So that's what I would do, honestly. I would be like, okay, I got to take care of myself first, and then I got to start saving some money.
That's different, though. That's different from being flashy. All right, you want to help people. That's one thing. But being flashy, getting luxurious cars and all that kind of they're two different things.
Yeah. But well, I guess it's just how you do it, though. If you're over here, okay, if you pull up to somebody's house and you're just like, hey, let me look at let me see their I don't know, their car. You're like, ooh, they got the new Corvette 2025, even though it's 2020. This is a prototype from the future. And they're just like, dang, dude, that's a badass car. But they could come here and seize it. Gone. What if you start going and you're just like, hey, you know what? I'm going to donate this money here, donate this money there, donate this money here, donate this money there. You're doing it in a way that they're like, how are they going to get that?
They'll find a way if they have to. That's it.
I doubt it. If you're like, hey, I'm going to go and donate $1 million to St. Jude's, and then they're over here like, hey, we're going to go to St. Jude's Children's Hospital and say, hey, that money was fake. We're going to take it back. You know what I mean? I seriously doubt they're going to do that.
That was hilarious. Dude,
like that?
Okay, if you guys are watching the podcast, you guys got to come back to the video or listening to the podcast. You got to come back to the video. He did a whole little like trotting along dance. He's cracking me up. Okay, let's move on. Come on, keep it going. Keep it going.
Oh, man. Yeah. MPA Hits Media Box.
Oh, man. Okay. First off, I want to say this is not the first time.
Not the first time.
So I don't know if they just don't want to learn their lesson. I think that they keep getting hit because they keep putting their stuff on the Apple platform. So there's a way that you can put certain applications through, I think something called Tweakbox on iPhones. And people are being able to put Media Box on their Apple products and stream movies and TV shows for free. So it's very unlikely that we see this happen a lot in the Android market, but it's like once you see iPhone, you're like, oh man, this is kind of scary. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm going to ask Next Level too while I'm reading this next part. If you could actually, I don't know if you still have Freeflix on your stuff. So that way we could kind of show what the Freeflix app did. I know you did a video on it, which is a really good video. I did open up the website and it redirected, but if you still have the app, it would be cool to do exactly what you did when you went to go to the website from the Freeflix and went there. So while he's doing that, MPA sends copyright claim to GitHub to shut down MediaBox. MediaBox was all over GitHub, and in the article it says they pretty much let themselves be known very easily, very accessible. MPA demands removal of MediaBox under DMCA. A lot of these terms, people are going to ask, what is the MPA? This is Motion Pictures Association. What is ACE? This is the Associates Creativity Alliance. Like, you just look this stuff up. You want to know what DMCA is? Look, what is DMCA? It's not that hard. But they have some takedowns that a lot of these, you have people like Disney, you have Sony, Fox Studios, you got tons of different major companies that are under the ACE, or I guess I shouldn't say under ACE. They went out and hired ACE to close some of this stuff down. So it's very interesting to see it. Now, before we really show the Freeflix stuff, the other thing I did another random research, and people could do this research on their own if they want to. I'm just going to talk about it for a quick second. If you go to Freeflix Facebook group, and I did a video on this on my channel, they had legit this is how you fix your movies. This is how you fix your shows. This is how you fix this and that. As you scroll up to the more recent comments in the month of November, they started posting carpets from Dubai. You could buy carpets. You could buy carpets. You could buy carpets, like a bunch of stuff. And it's just like, carpets. What in the world are you talking about? Carpets? It was just weird. So this is something I think that's been happening. I'm kind of nervous and scared. So
I just pulled up the YouTube video because it was just easy because I had it here. It actually just shows me buffering. But it shows me opening up Freeflix HQ here. You can see the app loading up the current version, which is 4.40. And then obviously opening it up and then going to the top right.
Now the top right has a 3 settings button. So that's typically where you could see your settings and all that. So he clicks on the Freeflix website and it goes to freeflixhq.com. And then it takes you to this website is no longer available due to copyright. We're going to redirect you. And then it goes to the ACE website. Watch it legally. And then below it says where to watch it, how to watch it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
and what prompted me to make that video was early that morning when I recorded a popular app modification modder or release site put out an updated version of Freeflix, right? A very trustworthy modder did it. And that alerted me right away because when I opened up the app, I did not see an update. And I was like, something's not right here. And that's when I was like, let me click on their website to see if maybe I have to manually download this update. And when I got hit with that, I was like, well, yeah. And I tell people, because you know what? I've made a name for myself. I would like to think I made a name for myself for being trustworthy when it comes to apps in the community. And I can't be putting applications in my filing store where people click on it and it takes them to ACE. I'm not trustworthy at that point. I have to do my due diligence, right? And, I'll put out things like videos saying, don't install this stuff. I don't trust it. There's still some applications that I have in FileLink that I would love to remove, but the amount of demand is crazy. So I'll put warnings. For instance, Mobdro, right? Mobdro is in my filing store, and I am so against using Mobdro. I will never use it. I don't install it on anything that I do, but the amount of people that still want to use Mobdro is mind blowing. It has something in there called the Illuminati code. It basically takes your information and does whatever it wants with it. Uses your device to mine for cryptocurrency and all kinds of stuff that you shouldn't be involved in. But as content creators, as people, as human beings, as friends in the community, we try to give as much warning as possible. I mean, if I'm not going to use something, I'm going to tell you why.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. It's, we try to keep, again, protect yourself. Let's keep going. Breen launches anti-piracy campaign targeting BitTorrent uploaders. So this is a Dutch company. Dutch anti-piracy group Breen has announced a new campaign which aims to change the behavior of frequent or long-term BitTorrent uploaders. Starting December 15th, Breen will track down users deemed important to the supply chain, sending warnings via their ISPs or directly if providers won't cooperate. Shit.
Okay, so did they say which country they're doing this in specifically? Is it just the Dutch or what?
I think it's just okay. Anti-group piracy Breen anti-piracy group Breen is at the forefront of the fight against copyright infringement in the Netherlands. So right now this is in the Netherlands.
All right. So what you guys are seeing now is you're witnessing precedents being made. That's exactly what you're seeing. In the past, we've seen people get letters from their ISP. That is not uncommon. But we've never really seen action being taken place. What we're seeing now is they're pretty much saying, okay, if your ISP ain't going to do shit, we are. Am I not right?
Yeah, you're right.
They're pretty much saying if they're not going to do nothing, we're coming to your house. So,
wow.
You got to protect yourself. But now keep in mind, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but that's the potential of the future. What they're talking about in this article is more so the supply and the demand. So they're talking more so about the people that are actually supplying and uploading the actual copyright infringed material, right? Now, here's the thing with torrents. If you are unfamiliar with how torrents work, you don't have to be the initial uploader to be uploading a torrent. If you are downloading a torrent, you are also uploading bits and pieces of it, depending on how your settings are. Now, there are ways to tweak your settings so you're not uploading, but it's not. I mean, if you don't know what you're doing with torrents, do not touch them. And the problem is there's a handful of applications that actually stream through torrents, and a lot of the end users don't know. You don't know. Showbox was one of them. Showbox used to connect to torrents and stream through torrents. The amount of people that got letters because of Showbox is unreal. So what they're saying now is that those letters are going to be real, and they're not just going to be coming from your ISP anymore.
Yep. Now, when it comes to like the K app and some of these other apps right now that are scraping it, is it the same similar thing what Showbox is doing, or like with Real Debrid, for example? I know Real Debrid has their own dedicated servers.
So here's the thing.
Short answer. Please.
Short answer. Okay.
To the point, man.
Let me short this down. So if you click on a movie and it plays right away, it's playing on somebody's server, right? So Showbox had those ways where it was one click play, and those servers for Showbox were torrent servers, right? Popcorn Time was another one. Streamio also uses some torrents as well too. Real Debrid works a little bit different. Real Debrid will cache that information on their servers, and then you're not directly involved in that torrent chain at all. You're just connecting to a file hosting company and accessing files that they have hosted on their site. You don't really know how they maybe got the files on their site or not. But I mean, I've talked about it in the past. If you're doing anything through a third party, Real Debrid, All Debrid, Premiumize, whatever, any of these companies have the ability to track your information at the end of the day. They do. Right? Is it safer to do it through a Real Debrid or a Debrid service? For sure it is. It is safer, but is anything up completely 100% safe unless you run the whole encryption from point A to point B? You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you're running that encryption and you can have full control over point A and point B, then nothing is 100% safe. So, Real Debrid, All Debrid, Premiumize, all that kind of good stuff. It is safer to do it that way. It doesn't work the same way as you accessing directly to a torrent site. But yeah. So I mean, I hope I explained that right. I'm trying to be as short as possible.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, let's go.
So frequent and long-term infringers on the radar. From starting the 15th of December, Brain says it will begin a long-planned project called Flu. Why the hell? Might as well call it COVID. Idiots. Frequent and long-term uploaders. That's what the abbreviation is. To reduce availability of movies, TV series, books, music, file sharing networks. So the key criteria of receiving a notice is this as follows: IP addresses has been observed sharing Breen members' companies' content. Number 2 is IP addresses belong to a Dutch ISP. And then number 3, in a 4-week period, IP addresses has been sent at least twice in a relevant swarm with an interval of at least 7 hours. So keep that in mind. Now, casual downloaders are not the initial targets, not yet. So this project is not about incidental so-called hit and run downloaders, but about frequent BitTorrent uploaders. So these are the people who are constantly uploading over and over and over and over and putting stuff out there. Habitable infringers who act not as many as a primary and large-scale source, which have already been and are being successfully enforced, but more as lubricant because they perpetuate the exchange of illegal content through their so-called seeding. This is what they're saying. So just some content for you guys to know what's coming. I don't know anybody here that's attached to Dutch, or if you're remoting into Dutch, or if you're uploading through a Dutch server. Remember, you could be in the States, you could be in Canada, you could be in Mexico, you could be in freaking an igloo somewhere. But if you're connecting to any of their ISPs, then there goes the rabbit hole. They're going to be able to be like, okay, where's this coming from? So just be careful.
Just to give you a little bit more context as well, when they say seeding, that's the process of, uploading bits and pieces of a torrent. You don't have to upload the full file. So usually how torrents work, when you're downloading, you are also uploading bits and pieces, and that's what's called seeding.
Yeah, thank you. Now, I did a random search because Next Level is talking about Hellboy. So I did a random search on Hellboy, and I found article after article after article after article for several years. And I'm like, dude, seriously? So this just popped in yesterday. So I'll let Next Level take this one away.
It's absolutely nuts. Like, from the release of this actual movie, this movie has been in the name of articles taking down services and taking down stuff, and people getting letters just for trying to stream it. Right. So this article talks about, in Brazil, internet subscribers are being accused of downloading pirated copies of films such as Hellboy and Rambo Last Blood via BitTorrent. The suspect pirates are receiving settlement offers of 3,000 real, which is about $575, to make the problem go away, just to sweep it under the carpet. The practice is commonly known as copyright trolling. It is not without controversy. So this is crazy. Basically, they're saying in Brazil, if you try to stream through a torrent, Hellboy or Rambo, they're going to slap you with $575. Now, it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but believe me, this is, like I said, they're just trying to set precedents at this point. That's exactly what they're doing. I don't even understand. This is exactly what I was telling Rohas before this. I don't even understand how Hellboy has been brought to the forefront of this whole copyright infringement stuff. I mean, I watched it once, but I've never really, tried to go back and watch it a million times. How many people are trying to watch Hellboy? Like, really?
I think I've seen it once, and that was it, and it wasn't that great. So maybe they're just trying to scrape as much money as they can because they went negative monies. I don't know.
Man, it's crazy. It says, it turns out the personal details were obtained in court, where the copyright holders requested information on thousands of alleged pirates. While this largely went unnoticed until recently, the related court proceeding got underway last year. So 2019, it looks like they were really pushing for a lot of these things to get started. And 2020 is when they're setting the precedents for the future. Initially, the spreadsheet with 70,000 entries, including personal details, were posted in the court doc that could also be accessed by third parties, including journalists. That the document was redacted after complaints, but the copyright holders have full access of the course. So basically, 70,000 people that were trying to watch these movies, people can access all the information and see who you were, what you were trying to watch. I actually wanted to talk to you about this. If you watch something, right, through an app, it potentially, hypothetically, I'm not saying that you do or you don't, and you enjoy it, are you more likely to watch that in better quality through a service, or purchase the Blu-ray or something along those lines? I mean, we've had conversations where, you may have seen a list of popular movies through one of these applications, and you were like, hey, this looks interesting. Because I do think that this is a form of advertisement still.
Yeah.
What's your views on it?
Okay, repeat the question. Repeat the question. So, okay, so for me, like Disney Plus, for example, I have a membership with Disney Plus. I think there is 1 out of 3 households have Netflix. That doesn't mean you own Netflix. That means you probably are sharing it with somebody, but one or the other, you're using Netflix 1 out of 3 out of every household. And I think sometimes with the piracy stuff, it's, you have to look for the links and see if it's going to work and see if the quality is going to work. And sometimes you just want the experience. I'll be 100% honest. When I use some of these apps like Disney Plus, and they're like, hey, we have the Mulan movie here, and you could see it, you could premiere it, you could pay, I think it was like $30. $30 and people are like, dude, $30 to go watch a movie? Like, damn, dude, like that means, okay, let's break it down. $30 to go to the movie theater, right? Are you going to spend $30 at the movies by yourself? Probably going to cost you about $10. As soon as you start buying popcorn, sodas, and whatever, there goes your $30. Easy, by yourself. Now, here's my thought process. I share my Disney Plus with my sister. I think I could have up to 10 users that I could share this to. I think it's 10. So I got my sister, got my mom, and my sister has kids. I ordered the thing, and now they could watch it. There's 4 people in their household. Do the math, $10 a person, that's $40. That doesn't include me, that doesn't include my mom, that doesn't include nobody. It just includes my sister's household by themselves. So I've seen that movie now, I think 3 times. One of my sisters, twice here at my house. And I think I got the value from it. So I think it depends for each individual. Like, if you want to justify and say, hey, is this worth my time or is this not worth my time? I got to experience something before. Some people never got to see it. Some people might have been trying to, I don't know if it was torrenting or third party or whatever it was. But I'll tell you this, the experience between those third parties versus me getting it directly through Disney, night and day. Like, the quality is insane. The video quality was just unbelievable. The audio, the surround sound was, again, unbelievable. And actually, that was the first movie with my current setup, because Next Level knows the type of setup that I have with the big TV and speakers. That was the first movie or game or whatever that I watched on my home entertainment that I went like this. Like, dude, they had like this bird flying around, and it was like you could hear the flapping wings, and I was like, okay, I could normally hear the surround sound, but this was a 3D surround sound. And it was like, I don't understand how, like, I understand how it works. Sonos has some amazing speakers and they have like a good stuff. Not promoting Sonos here, people, but if you do have a really good surround sound system, they'll pass through some of that content where you're just like, I don't have speakers above my head, but how does it sound like it's above my head? And it's the way they throw that bits and pieces of information to tell the speaker, like, hey, here's your speaker. I want the sound to come up here and not down here. Mind blown. Mind blown. And I've now have started to experience that with the PS5. They have some of the new stuff that they have within their gaming stuff and some of the new hardware and software that they're pushing out. And yeah, when I was playing with my nephews again, Fortnite, and they were shooting, pew, and it went like this right next to my ear. And I'm like, normally I hear it, and then here's the speaker back here, so I hear it like pew, like it'll go away. No, it actually sounded like it came from the front, and all the way to the side of me.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I hope I answered your question.
I think what I was really trying to get to is there's such a high demand, especially this year, for watching all the big flashy content, and it's advertised everywhere. And we are living in a time right now where our budgets aren't as big as they used to be. For in the most case, they're not. Being realistic on the average, I mean, we've seen sales this year like Prime Day, and we've seen Cyber Monday, and I was not overly impressed with them, but I also have to understand that those big ticket items, this isn't the year for them. You're looking for that value out there. And, there's been a lot of changes this year with services like Disney Plus, HBO Max, Hulu, all that kind of stuff. There's so much different kinds of content out there, and there's more and more coming out that legitimately there are new ways and better than ever before to watch the content that we want to now, right? I mean, before, like think about this. Before, Rohas used to have, I don't know if he still does, but a Blu-ray collection. Do you imagine trying to collect all the Blu-rays that are in a Disney Plus collection or a Netflix collection? So they have brought a library to us that is great quality and it's cost effective, right? There are obviously other ways to get content, but depending on your person, depending on your budget, if you like quality, if you want to experience the stuff that Rojas was just talking about, then there are ways to do it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that just be mindful of how you do things because there's a lot of stuff going on in the news right now that is scary.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
This is interesting. Pirate Bay founder, like the first line, Pirate Bay founder. Let that sink in. If you guys don't know who Pirate Bay is or what Pirate Bay does, first word, pirate.
Arr.
Arr. They pirate stuff. And they have, I guess, a bay, like they have like a platform where they have all these torrents and all this stuff to get. Pirate Bay founder warns the U.S. government. Like right off the bat, what? Wait, say what? You? Against Mafia SK copyright lobby. So just coming into here, because some people are going to say like, wait, the fuck did you say? Oh yeah, pardon my French, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
As one of the original founders of the Pirate Bay, Peter Sunday, whatever, has made a name for himself over the past 2 decades. He's been around, I would say, even like what's in the late 90s or something. Like he's been around for quite some time. While he is no longer associated with the site,
and that's why he's public right now.
Yeah, that's why he's public. Calm down, Karen. Copyright holders still see him as a threat. Sunday, I'm going to call him Sunday, for his part, is warning against the power American corporations have on the internet. In a letter to the U.S. Trade Representative, he sounds the alarm bell. I don't know. Peter Sunday was one of the key people behind Pirate Bay in the early years. This is just, I don't know. To me, like, of course, they're talking about in recent years, Sunday has focused on several other projects as links to the domain registration services, Nijala and the iPredator VPN, which merged recently, are well known. See, if I knew somebody was part of pirating and they're like, hey, we're going to do a VPN now, I don't know if I would be in business with somebody like or want to get his stuff.
Well, here's the thing. So like commenting or bringing back up one of the first articles, one of the reasons why xtremecodes was taken down was because there were also, some of them were promoting a IPTV service. So you can't put your hands in both buckets. If you are doing pirating, you can't also do a VPN. You're going to get hit for both, and your customers are going to be like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So here it says RII and MPA report Najala, which is one of his things. Coincidence or not, many copyright holders are not happy with these ventures either. This month, several copyright industry groups reported Najala to the U.S. Trade Representative, branding it a notorious market. According to the RAA and MPA, services such as Najala are a threat because they offer extensive privacy protection to domain name registrants. And see, that's the thing. He's over here trying to say, well, I'm going to go legit, but they're going to be like, screw you, dude. We know exactly what you're doing. We know exactly what you've done. And now all of a sudden, you don't want to be part of the Pirate Bay, but I'm going to make a layer of protection over here. You know, please, Karen, have a seat.
That's funny. That's funny. It's true though. Like you can't go from a history of, I mean, I don't know. I think whatever. There's the letter there they have too.
Oh, they do. So, okay. So instead of staying on the sidelines, Peter Sunday decided to write a letter to these people. So note to defend Najala per se, but to warn against the threat major U.S. corporations present to the internet. So this is, I quote, being mentioned both by name and also through some of my earlier performance pieces, I felt it would be justified that I also bring comment for the good of the discourse. As you might know, I am one of the people that was involved in the earlier times of the Pirate Bay, one of my more known art pieces. It's funny how he calls it art
pieces. That's amazing.
Art. It's like, okay, Karen. So, you know, he's got a letter right here. It says, from the desk of Peter. Calm down, dude. Public comment. And then here's the date and here's the address to where he sent it to. So just to go on some of the more stuff that, again, I'm quoting, this is something that is very much the fault of a few Central North American companies and their lobbying efforts. We're now living in a world with fake news and trolls as presidents. That shot fired.
And he's sending this to the government.
Yeah, government. I continue the quote. We can't take the right to information for granted. We should not centralize the control over information in any shape or form. Karen, have a seat. I'm calling him Karen. Dude, you're an idiot. There's his face. Hi, my name's Karen.
That's crazy. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this one right now. You can't. You can't. You can't. He's upset because companies are trolling his new ventures about being a VPN. That's it, right?
Yeah. He's mad because why are you trolling me? I'm doing something good for this country. It's like, dude, you're over here doing something with torrents, and now you're gonna say, let me start a VPN, guys.
So what does he want the US government to do after calling them trolls?
Promote his stuff.
Maybe this was all a marketing scheme to get him more publicity.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to throw up.
That was crazy. That is nuts.
Okay. Streaming site shuts down, offers unique perspective on anti-piracy pitfalls. Here's another one, guys. Earlier this month, popular streaming site Time to Watch closed its doors, vowing never to return. While a pirate site shutdown is nothing out of the ordinary, the operators of the platform bowed out with a lengthy goodbye note containing words of advice for those considering setting up a similar site of their own. Now, this is just coming down here, so just to give some more context, in addition to blocking international famous torrent sites, YTS, and I'll let Next Level elaborate with YTS right now in a second, and Easy TV, the order also covered many locally important streaming sites. Among them, Time to Watch, a site that was once one of France's top 300s. Explosions. Go for it, Next Level. Give them some content here.
So YTS and Easy T. Well, Easy TV, YTS need okay, so they're both torrent sites, very popular for movies and TV shows, very very popular. YTS has pretty much gained a name for itself for putting out high quality, low file size or small file size. They've been in the news as well lately for coming up as one of the first search results in Bing, like showing up with posters and advertisements. And I mean, all these companies need to calm down. You shouldn't be coming up in a first search result if you are a pirate site. Like, it's just nuts. You can't be doing this stuff. It's crazy. So I don't know. I don't know what to say at this point. Like you can't be running around being like, "Hi, I'm doing this and I shouldn't be, but look at me." Like, and then at the same time, us as end users, I'm saying it's a very broad brush, but whoever's using those sites, you guys are at the discretion of however they choose to manage their own business, because your information is tracked by all of these websites, right? And then they're going out and they're contacting the government, and they're showing up first in results for Bing and Google and all kinds of crap. It's nuts. So like for Bing, so Bing actually talked about this. They were actually hit with this too. So it says, increasingly, homepages of popular pirate sites are disappearing from search engines in some cases. However, some search engines help pirate brands to stand out. That's exactly what I was talking about, YTS. So, for example, YTS Movies, with a fancy poster and reel, it even manages to spot some full-length pirate releases on YouTube and the Internet Archive. Now, the Internet Archive was under some heat recently, and they're trying to get out of that because, I mean, they were just, hey, we're a free file host. We are the archive of the internet. And unfortunately, they've had to delete a lot of stuff too. It says, for years, entertainment industry groups have been frustrated by the fact that infringing sites show up on search engine results. The fact that some see search engines as fertile breeding grounds for new pirates, as they can direct users to the unofficial sites. Most attention goes out to Google, which was the market leader. Or is the market leader, but Microsoft's Bing isn't ignored. During the first half of 2020, the copyright holders asked the search engine to remove over 66 million URLs. Now, guys, the URLs are not gone. They're just not showing up in a search result, which is good. That's good, because if they did, it would be worse.
Yeah. And one thing to add to this, the myth that Cloudflare protects pirate sites. Oh, man. So, again, these are the people here. This is what their quote is. So I'm quoting, Cloudflare will not protect you, not for a second. They will hand over the name of your host and otherwise the IP address of your server to any authority which requests it. And even in some cases, your connection IP address, your account data, means of payment, etc. And of course, here it just says, over the past couple of years, right holders have been complaining that CDN service Cloudflare helps to protect pirate sites, giving their operators anonymity. But they're pretty much saying, nope, that's a lie. That's a lie. July. And I'm not talking about the month.
There's a handful of people that will say, oh, I'm going to use Cloudflare's DNS, or I'm going to use Google's DNS. What does that really mean? Oh, I'm going to route all of my traffic and all of my data through these servers that don't necessarily tell me what they're going to do with the logs. That's essentially what it is, no?
Yeah.
They may say, oh, we could increase your speeds, or we can do this, but what's the trade-off? Nobody does anything for free.
Nope. Always remember that if it's for free, you're paying it in some way.
Right. And sometimes it's time. Sometimes you got to do a little bit of work, and sometimes they stealing from you.
Mm-hmm. So check this out, man. Court orders GoDaddy to transfer piracy hack store domain to Nintendo. I read this and I'm like, wait, What the hell? A federal court in Seattle has clarified that all third parties intermediaries must cut their ties to a group of Nintendo piracy hack store. The order was prompted by GoDaddy's refusal to transfer the stickswitch.com domain to Nintendo. Stickswitch. I wonder why Nintendo would want that. Well, I know why, but that domain's kind of funny though. While the new order applies to any variant or successors of the stores, it's not clearly defined what this actually means.
So if I was Nintendo, I mean, obviously there's two reasons why I would want it. One, because it's my copyrighted material, and two, because traffic. If anybody knows anything about marketing, there's money to be made in any kind of traffic. So if the website is having any kind of traffic, you can turn that into something else that they can try to sell their products legitimately to the end users that are accessing that website.
Yeah. And then just to go through this here, injunction shuts down mod chip stores. The injunction was a clear victory as it allowed the Japanese gaming giant to shut down several sites, including txswitch.com, sxflashcard.com, xeogame.com. These domains were later transferred to the company. And then it comes down here that GoDaddy refuses to take down the new domain. This type of domain hopping is common in pirate circles of Nintendo, was somewhat prepared for it. The injunction includes a section which states that any variant or successors of the stores is also covered. And Nintendo swiftly asked domain registrar GoDaddy to suspend the new domain as well. However, GoDaddy refused. Despite the mention that successors are covered, the domain registrar requested a new court order which specifically mentions stickswitch.com. To resolve this standoff, Nintendo went to court again, requesting clarification, which came this week in the form of a new order issued by U.S. Direct Court Judge Thomas Zilli. Stickswitch.com has to go offline. So it happened. So they had to go offline. So why would you mess with, for one, like why would you mess with Nintendo?
Any content creator who's done emulation or gaming or anything like that knows that Nintendo is no joke. You put up something about Nintendo and that video is gone. Like, you don't mess with Nintendo. I don't know. I feel like older classic games, there needs to be something that's done with it, because for the retro, for the nostalgic people, they really enjoy accessing those older games. Just I did a quick Google search. The copyright for games falls off after 95 years. Now, I think that should be a little shorter. Like the people who, 95 years ago, there was nobody who was playing video games 95 years ago.
Well, it's I think it's more to protect of what's happening now. Because music has something very similar. They have when a song is made, there is also a thing where you're not allowed to use a song until 100 years later, or if the artist dies, then it's like 50 years later, like half of that, something like that. So I think what it is, it's like us, for example. We grew up in the times of, well, we were at the tail end of disco. We were at the start of alternative rock music, rap, hip hop, R&B, EDM, dance music. A lot of that started late 70s, 80s, 90s into 2000s. So I could see how they are like, hey, all this stuff that's out right now within our age group, can't really do much with it until we're pretty much dead, until we're gone. So if I look at it, if I'm just like, okay, people who lived 100 years ago, I don't know if they were, 1920s. So you got your swing music, you got your Frank Sinatras and all stuff like that. So I could see some of that stuff slowly now coming up to like, hey, this has been 100 years, unless a company might have bought it, bought some stuff and said, nope, we own it now. But things like music like Mozart, Beethoven, stuff that's like even older, pre all this. So I can kind of see they're doing the same thing with games. They're saying like, hey, yeah, you got to wait 100 years or 90 years or whatever it is, because by the time you're in your 90s, there's no way in hell that you're going to be like, hey, remember back in my day, Atari? They're going to be like, what the hell's an Atari?
Okay, fine. Maybe not for free, but I feel like a library should be accessible on every gaming platform for a nominal fee. Like, dude, if you said, okay, every single retro game you could possibly think of from every single platform you could get for $6 a month on the new PlayStation or on the new Xbox or on the new whatever. I mean, sign me up.
I buy it, yeah.
Right? And just think of there's a lot of us and it's going to be like that generation after generation. I mean, there's people where their retro game is like God of War or Gears of War or Halo. Like that's their retro game right now. You know what I mean? And maybe the law changes it to, I don't know, 30 years. But 30 years they still have to pay a library fee to access it on whatever platform it is. Like if they did stuff like that, and this is, you know what? This is exactly what's happening to streaming right now. Think about it, right? Disney, all those Disney movies that we grew up with is now on a platform that you can stream for what? $6 a month? $7 a month? I don't know, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. But if video games went the same route, it just makes sense to me. We want to play those games, right? We want to play them. We would pay for them to play them. But it's hard for us to access them on a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X or a Nintendo Switch. And sometimes the only way we can get around it and relive those experiences, those childhood experiences, is to unfortunately become a pirate.
If they did what you're saying, like some kind of monthly whatever, mm-hmm. I think it would be really smart for them to say, hey, you know what? Like Nintendo, here's our new console. PlayStation Now has something similar where you could play your older games through their cloud-based subscription. PlayStation Now has tons of stuff games, and they're always adding more older stuff as you're going along. I know Xbox is now saying like, hey, this can now play. You can now play some of your old stuff, your old discs. But I think if I think this would be really, really smart, great marketing, if each console did a PlayStation Now. Like I think PlayStation Now is a genius idea where they can log in, pay a monthly subscription, and then and play these games, play these retro games. And I think what really, becomes a really good selling point is like, hey, you could play your old games. Nintendo, I know Nintendo had on their Nintendo Wii that you could actually download the old games, the old original games. I don't know what happened to the Switch. I don't know if they continued it. I don't think they did. But it's Nintendo Wii had something where you can do the retro stuff, which I thought was great. I don't know why they took it out.
And we go through this every time. Like this is almost a slap in the face to Sony. Gamers are now playing PS2 games on the Microsoft new series consoles, right? No matter how much you try and fight it, unless you come out with a service like this, like gamers are begging for a Netflix style or a Disney Plus style service. They are. They're putting PS2 games. There's YouTube videos showing you how to do it. And it's all because the Xbox is pretty much running a version of Windows and you're just running an emulator on it from that point, right? But they're asking for this to be done. And it's sad, but people want to relive those experiences. And somebody needs to capitalize on that. They need to make it more accessible, either for somebody to come out with their own service, or I don't even understand why. Okay, here's a fantastic idea, right? Instead of spending all of this money fighting all the people that are either hosting, running, or creating game emulators, hire them, have them run the streaming platform, and then market it to the other console companies.
Well, here's the thing. I like those guys are smarter than that because they're trying to lock it in where you cannot pirate some of this stuff. But the thing is that there's always loopholes because there's not 100% security. So some of the guys that they have hired there, I think, are insanely smart already to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And they already know that, like, hey, if somebody is smart enough, like, look what I did with the PlayStation 5 already. Shh. Just saying. But with all that being said, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Again, we're gonna throw this out there. Get yourself a VPN. Check the description below. We're gonna have something in there with all these topics that we've talked about. There's just so much information. My brain started to explode halfway through it. Next level looks like he's still in one piece.
For now. I mean, I haven't eaten anything yet, so.
Uh-oh. But yeah, so hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. This has been a really good one. Hopefully we could actually do this once a month. We're going to continue to do it, and it's good stuff. It's good knowledge, good information there. So that way you guys know what's happening, what's current in the tech news. And yeah, happy holidays, guys. Merry Christmas. It's right around the corner. And if you're watching or listening to this after Christmas, well, happy late Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. There you go.
Come on now. His brain did explode.
And if it's past the new year, happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Happy non-2020.
I hope we have a freaking cure for this crap that we're in right now. All right, guys. You guys take care. Take care of each other.
Stay humble, be patient, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.